So as Americans, we're very used to seeing the US flag everywhere, whether it's hanging from people's homes or hanging off people's bodies, being worn in shorts, shirts, bikinis. You can literally find just about any piece of memorabilia or any sort of clothing with the American flag on it or with the American flag as it. About a year or two ago, I also did a tier list of American city flags. But now that I'm a more refined and developed designer, I wanted to take a tackle at some more US flags, but this time with US states. For any of you that have any interest in vexillology, which by the way is the study of flags, you already know that this is about to get really bad really quickly. US states aren't exactly known for good flags. So first and foremost, we're going to go through the tiers. At the very top, we have vexillologist's wet dream, probably the best designed flags that a state could possibly have. Next, we have solid design, decent design, needs improvement, please burn this flag, and Kansas. Now, there's a lot of state flags that are just about equal to Kansas in terms of bad, but for some reason I just decided to pick on Kansas today. So right off the bat, there are actual fundamental rules to what makes good flag design. First off, keep it simple. It shouldn't be anything too crazy with extravagant features on it. A child should be able to draw it from memory. Next, use meaningful symbolism. Use elements, colors, and patterns that relate to what the flag is supposed to actually symbolize. Following, use no more than 2 or 3 basic colors. Choose from the standard color set, and then choose a color that will contrast well. Avoid lettering, seals, or coats of arms, which we will see very quickly that the US states fail at this step. Be distinct or be related. Don't copy another flag. Also, consider the effect of height and wind. If your flag is not recognizable when it's still blowing in the wind or when it's really high up, your flag sucks. So let's get into the flags then. First off, I'm going to make this very simple. We're going to knock out every flag that uses a coat of arms, a seal, or insanely stupid lettering. So that means that these are all going into please burn this flag. First off, Connecticut. This is followed by Delaware, Idaho, my home state of Illinois. As much as it pains me, I'm going to be very fair. Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Massachusetts, Michigan, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, Vermont, Virginia, West Virginia, Wisconsin. That's a lot. That is 26 state flags. 26. That's just over half. Now, you guys are probably looking down at the rest of them and say, hey, there's still some that you could probably put in there. And I'm going to get to those in a sec. First off, there is Alabama. Alabama is inspired by St. Andrew's Cross, which there is St. Andrew's flag as well. This is the same flag design that you see in Scotland for the Scottish flag. It also got a little bit of inspiration from the Confederate battle flag. I just think that the Alabama flag is a little bit uninspiring and it's not too crazy. It could use some improvement. It's very simple and to the point and very easy to draw, but it just isn't super Alabama. There isn't much there to symbolize Alabama. It's something that originated in Europe. So I think that it is a decent design, but it does need some improvement. So I'm going to just kind of hover it at decent design, needs improvement. You can kind of consider it either one. Following is Alaska's flag. Alaska's flag is fantastic. Very simple navy blue field, which, as you can probably tell, a lot of the US really loves the color navy blue. But Alaska makes it work, having gold-colored stars in the shape of the Little Dipper, as well as one in the top right corner representing the North Star, being the northernmost state and also the state that surpasses the Arctic Circle. This flag design is impeccable. It symbolizes Alaska to a T. It's simple and to the point. Does a great job. That's a vexillologist's wet dream right there when it comes to US state flags. Next on the list is Arizona, with the gold star in the center representing one of Arizona's 5 Cs being copper. Arizona is one of the biggest producers of copper in the entire US. Then the alternating red and yellow lines are representative of the sun. Arizona is a very desert state. And then blue and gold, the colors of the star, and the foreground are Arizona state colors. Arizona has a pretty solid flag. It's a fairly solid design. I think it should go in solid design. Next is Arkansas. Arkansas state flag isn't horrible. The thing that pulls it down though is the word Arkansas right there in bold letters. I think maybe if they cut down on the amount of stars in the diamond and take out Arkansas completely, then it could be a lot better. I think it is a decent design. It just needs work, and the biggest thing would be getting rid of Arkansas. Following up is California. California breaks one of the rules, and that is that it uses letters and words. But it's also a very iconic flag design. It's probably one of the most iconic flag designs of any US state. Just because of how iconic it is, you can kind of start to ignore some of the rules, I suppose, because clearly it's grown very popular with people. The bear wouldn't exactly be easy to draw from memory, that's for sure. But you can still somewhat be able to draw where it is or give a general shape of a bear. Just saying California Republic along the bottom would typically make you think, okay, this is gonna go down to like needs improvement. Some people would argue that the California flag should remove the letters. Other people would say it's just fine with it. Personally, I think this is one of the few flags that can actually break the rule, and it has proven that it has worked, and it can work as long as you're not stupid about it. I think that the California Republic flag, for me at least, it's a decent design, you know? It's a decently designed flag. Next, there's the Colorado state flag. Right off the bat, there's a letter. It's the letter C, you know, Colorado. But Colorado actually kind of gets away with it just because it represents multiple things. First off, the white field represents the snow of the mountains. Then you have the blue that represents the sky, and the yellow in the middle of the sea that represents the sun. The red represents the soil in the state, but it also represents the state flower, the columbine. So they do kind of manage to get around it, and it's also a fairly iconic flag that has been popularized pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Colorado state flag in solid design. It's not the whole word Colorado, they just found a pretty creative way to involve the letter C. Next is the Florida state flag. So this is one of those seals, coat of arms type flags that I left aside, and I did it for a reason. First off, it also uses St. Andrew's cross, just like the Alabama state flag, with a slightly different shade of red, and then the Florida state seal in the center. Now, this is kind of what I was thinking of when I was thinking that Alabama's could use a little bit of improvement. Something in the middle of the flag definitely helps, but I don't think the way that Florida approached it was the correct way. Immediately, the seal there drops the Florida flag in points. It needs improvement. But they're kind of headed in the right direction with having something at the center of the St. Andrew's cross to kind of give it that last push that flag needs. Next up is the flag of Georgia, which has the coat of arms on the top left in the blue space, and then 12 stars surrounding it representing not only Georgia, but the other 12 original colonies of the US. Georgia also kind of follows the red bars and stars of the original Confederate flag. Immediately having the coat of arms docks it a lot of points, but the fact that it's not just in this big empty field, kind of like a lot of these other flags, kind of gives it a couple more points. So I'm going to throw it in needs improvement. It's not the worst flag here, but again, coats of arms need to go. Like, replace it with a symbol or something else, but it needs to change a little bit. Next up is the flag of Hawaii, which uses 8 stripes to represent the 8 major islands of the Hawaiian Islands. In the top left corner, you realize that the Union Jack is there, and it's kind of weird that it's still there. Yes, Hawaii was once under British control, and that's why their flag is like this. But why on earth is it still there? It almost makes Hawaii feel kind of like it's a Commonwealth nation. But it, to this day, is still the only state flag that uses the flag of another existing nation, which is a little off. So I'm gonna say it's not the worst flag in the world, but it needs improvement because America, baby. Next we have the flag of Indiana. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it looks about right. Now, in all honesty, Indiana's state flag isn't actually that bad. In terms of its design, it's actually pretty decent. Doesn't have this stupid coat of arms, has a pretty nice pattern around it. The only thing it could lose is probably the words up top, but other than that, the flag design actually isn't bad. It's just the fact that I hate Indiana, and that's coming from someone who's from Illinois. Next on our list here is Maryland. Maryland's design isn't actually all that bad. Some people don't really like this kind of design, the split with the four corners. Technically, Maryland's is a coat of arms, but it's done in a very creative fashion. Maryland's flag has the coats of arms of the Calvert and Crossland families, having them on opposite corners of each other. The flag is unique, and people have come to really like it, especially those who live in Maryland. Frankly, I think this flag can go right up into solid design, being one of the more solid US state flags. Next is actually the new state flag of Minnesota, which was just put into effect on May 11th of 2024. The 8-pointed star represents the North Star because the state's nickname is the North Star State, and it's put in a field of dark blue, which is roughly supposed to represent the shape of Minnesota. Then you have the lighter blue, which represents the water, because Minnesota is the state of 10,000 lakes. I actually think that the design came out pretty damn well, and so I think that it goes right into solid design. I don't think it's a vexillologist's wet dream, because honestly, I think that some of the concepts that came out of the initial concept phase for new Minnesota flags were probably just a little bit better, but this one still came out fantastically. Next is the state flag of Mississippi, being the newest state flag actually of Mississippi because it was just adopted in 2021. The flag uses 2 red bars down each side with 2 gold bars bordering a dark blue navy field, with a magnolia blossom right in the middle and 20 stars surrounding it, representing that it was the 20th state in the Union. It does say "In God We Trust" at the bottom, which again, words, kind of docks a couple points, but overall the flag is a fairly nice design. Personally, I think that it can go right into the decent design. It's a pretty solid flag. The state flag of New Mexico. Chef's kiss when it comes to state flag designs. The state isn't the best place in the world to live. No one ever says, "Hey, I want to go to New Mexico," but damn do they have a nice flag. This is probably the epitome of flag design. Like, it is so simple, to the point, and looks nice, and the symbolism is heavy. It's inspired by the ancient Zia sun. The number 4 is sacred to the Zia people, and therefore it uses a 4-sided sun shape with 4 rays of sunlight coming out of each of those 4 sides. It represents the 4 directions on the compass, the 4 seasons, the 4 stages of life, and the 4 periods of each day. It uses yellow and red in reference to the Spanish flag because it was once part of the Spanish Empire when New Mexico was a part of the colony of Mexico. Vexillologist damn wet dream right there. That is a beautiful flag. North Carolina kind of looks somewhat like a flipped version of Texas's Lone Star flag, but a lot less cool. It has the star a lot smaller, the colors a bit more muted. It has an N and a C and then 2 banners with words in it. It just kind of takes that whole concept and then shits out an even worse version of it. The flag, honestly, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it needs improvement. It needs a lot of improvement. Next is Ohio, the only non-rectangular flag of any of the US states. In fact, it has a swallowtail design that was first designed by John Eisman. The navy blue triangle represents the hills that are found in the state. The stripes all represent the roads and waterways in the state, and then you have the 13 stars that are all on the left towards the base of the triangle that represent the original 13 colonies, and then 4 more towards the triangle's apex bring it to 17, representing that Ohio was the 17th state in the Union. It's actually quite a unique design state flag in terms of, well, all the other ones being plain old rectangles. And yes, it follows a lot of similar conventions to the American flag, but it takes the inspiration pretty damn well. I would say it's a solid design. So next is the flag of Rhode Island, and it does have a crest, but I think that it has potential. It's in a simple white field, and it has the anchor in the center with 13 gold stars around it, representing again the 13 original colonies. And as it turns out, Rhode Island was also the 13th state to enter the Union. Works beautifully. The thing that kills it a little bit is the blue banner with hope at the bottom. Honestly, if you completely get rid of that, the flag actually isn't all that bad. Needs a little bit of improvement, yes, but honestly, I think it's a decent design. The flag of South Carolina, it has the crescent moon, and it is the navy blue because it represents the uniforms worn by South Carolina soldiers during the Revolutionary War. It also features the palmetto tree, which is South Carolina's state tree. I've seen a mixed bag in terms of reviews on this flag. Some people really like it, some people really hate it, some people are indifferent to it because they don't care about state flags. I actually don't think it's all that bad. Maybe a little bit of simplification of the palmetto tree a bit, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I actually kind of like it. I think it doesn't look all that bad. I think it's a decent design. The state flag of Tennessee is actually a very solid state flag. I really like it. It has 3 different stars, each representing a different section of Tennessee: East, Middle, and West Tennessee, all converging on their points to signify unity. Very simple. The symbolism is to the point. Honestly, I think it's a solid design. Tennesseans really have a lot of pride over this flag as well. So here it is. The Lone Star State, Texas. Texans love their damn flag. You might almost see the Lone Star flag more than you will the American flag in Texas. It's an iconic flag. Simple, straight to the point. It was their flag also when they were their own country for like 2 weeks. And it's recognizable pretty much anywhere in the US, even some places outside the US, just for its symbolism, its history, and the fact that it's an icon. It's a solid ass design. So this is the new Utah state flag. The red represents the soil, the white represents the snow-capped mountains, and then you have the navy blue representing the sky. Then, because Utah is known as the beehive state, in the center they have, well, a beehive surrounded by a hexagon shape because honeycomb, and then 1 white star underneath the beehive to seal it all off. This is a massive improvement over the original design. It is a damn solid design. Wouldn't say it's fully a vexillologist's wet dream, just because I know there was some debate over whether or not they wanted this to be the new flag, but I think it's a fantastic design. So, okay. The state flag of Washington. Why did I not put this in Please Burn This Flag yet? I think it's really only because it was the only flag that really kind of decided to be a little different with the color. Now I know what you're thinking. New Jersey is not using blue. Why is New Jersey there? It's because New Jersey's flag is, it's a tannish, orangish, beigeish color, sure, but it's the most complicated crest / seal that exists that's on it. So immediately, I don't care what color it's using. Washington at least uses a circle, a black border with a yellow circle, blue interior, black border, words going around the circle. It's a circle. So at least there you can kind of work with, drawing it from memory. The only thing it has on this seal or crest is quite literally just George Washington, which, people on a flag, it's not exactly a fantastic design choice, but I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. Out of the flags that have crests and whatnot, I don't think it's the worst one. I think it could be improved, and just having a different color and a simple circular shape is better. I still think it should be burned, but I just felt it needed to be explained a little bit. Lastly is the flag of Wyoming. Wyoming's is on the right track, and instantly I'm going to put it in decent design. I think it kind of fits with Alabama's, where it needs improvement and it's a decent design, because I think the vast majority of the flag is good. They decided to ruin it by putting the state seal in the center of the bison, but I think right off the bat, just the red and white border with the navy blue field and the bison in the middle is already a massive improvement. It looks good. the state seal ruins it. Take that off and this goes right up into solid design. That's just the way I see it. So those are the 50 US state flags. As you can tell, the vast majority of them suck. One of them is even Indiana. So there's clearly a lot of work that can be done in the US to really improve our state flags, because above decent design, we don't have that many. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, follow me on all my socials. Those links are down in the description. And I hope that wherever you guys are, whenever you guys are watching today's video, you have a great, wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.